Hey, welcome to Provo. Today's BYU game day, so this is going to be a fun video. Stick around if you want to know what it's like to attend a Brigham Young University football game. Let's get going. First time to my channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good, the bad of Provo, Utah. And specifically today I'm talking about BYU football and game day Saturdays in Provo. Then go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Click on that notification bell so that you can stay current on everything about living in Provo, Utah. My name's Scott Walters and I have people just like you reaching out to me every day looking to make a move to Provo, and I absolutely love it. So if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I would love to connect with you and help you make a smooth move to the Provo, Utah area and all the surrounding cities right around Provo. Again, today we're talking about BYU football game day. Hey, and I almost forgot to say, make sure you listen to the end of the video because I've got 2 tips for you that you need to know about before you attend a football game in Provo on game day. Anyway, let's get into this video talking about BYU football and game day. So one of the first things that we've got to talk about is how do you get to LaVell Edwards Stadium? So I'm going to come at this from north and south because Provo is located right in the middle of Utah Valley. So you generally, unless you're coming from the Provo-Orem area, then you'll just be taking surface streets over to LaVell Edwards Stadium. But if you're coming from the south or the north, you're going to be using I-15. So for those who are coming up from Springville, Spanish Fork, Payson, Santaquin, even further down south, Nephi or other places like that, you're going to get on the I-15 corridor and head on north. Once you get to, and Provo will be, the first Provo exit will be University Avenue. That's the one that you're going to take. Once you're on there, that's about, if you're going there on any other game day, once you get off the freeway, it would take you about 11, 12 minutes to get to LaVell Edwards Stadium, really depending upon the traffic. I mean, there are a ton of stoplights on University Avenue. Every block there's a stoplight. So once you hit one of those red lights, you're pretty much guaranteed to hit all of them. And so it could take you 15 or 20 minutes to get there, but normally you're gonna make most of those lights and be 11, 12 minutes. But on game day, plan on 30 minutes to get through there because it gets crowded. Everyone's headed to the game. I would highly recommend leaving at least an hour before game time because remember, you've got to park and leave yourself time to walk, especially depending on where you're parking. So if you have like a Cougar Club membership and a parking pass, you can actually stay on University Avenue and take that all the way up to the stadium parking that's just to the west of the stadium, and you can park right there. Also, just across the street on the east side, or actually the west side of University Avenue, they have parking for people in the they park people on the intramural grass fields there where they play flag football and stuff for the BYU student body, for those that participate in intramural sports, but they actually fill those up with cars on game day. But the main parking lot there is right just west of the stadium. If you have a handicap sticker, they actually do have a very large area reserved for people who can park right up close to the stadium and right by where they have all the tailgate activities. So that's a nice benefit. So for those who don't have those options, there are some free parking places you can park kind of up by the Marriott Center. That's a little bit of a walk coming downhill the stadium. But generally, if you're coming from the south, the first parking that you get to is you turn right at the Zions Bank building, and you'll see also right there the very large indoor practice facility. That parking lot itself right there is free, but then you've got, I would say, a half-mile walk to the stadium. I don't even know if it's quite that far, but you've got a little bit of a walk. That's where people like to bring their campers and stay there and do tailgating from their tailgates and from their campers if they're going to do it. That's generally the parking lot that they're at. So anyway, that's kind of the parking that you're going to be using and how to get to the stadium if you're coming from the south. Now, if you're coming from the north, it's going to take you a little bit longer. Say you're coming from Lehigh, Saratoga Springs, Eagle Mountain. Just from Lehigh to LaVell Edwards Stadium on a normal day is like 26 minutes. So just count on it's going to take you longer with game day traffic. There are 2 routes that I see a lot of people take, and you could get off on the first Orem exit if you're coming from the north. You could get off on the 800 north exit and take that all the way west, all the way over towards Cascade Mountain, and it comes right out at the mouth of Provo Canyon, and that brings you right to University Avenue again. So then you can turn right there and head on south towards the stadium, and you're going to basically have the opportunity to park in any of those parking spots that I talked about. Probably most people get off on the University Parkway exit, which would be your last Orem exit if you're coming from the north. That's the Utah Valley University exit. So when you get off the freeway there and turn left and go across the freeway, Utah Valley University is going to be on your left side or on the north side of the road. And then you'll be going uphill a little bit. After, I'd say, probably a mile and a half or so, you're going to come to State Street in Orem, right? That's the corner where you have the University Place Mall. You go past the University Place Mall, staying on University Parkway, and then it will drop down a hill down kind of into the valley of Provo and the Provo River bottoms and take you right over to the stadium. And there's, again, lots of different parking areas there that you can access. So that gives you an idea of if you're going to the game, that's how you get there. So right now we are currently in the parking lot in the west side of Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Across University Avenue, they have some parking in the intramural football fields and ultimate frisbee fields, so you can park over there. You can also, if you're coming from the south, one of the first places you can park, and I'm not by it now, but it's right where you pull in by the Zions Bank and the indoor practice facility. That's one spot where you can park. But if you come here by the west parking lot, you have to have a pass. You usually have to be like a member of the Cougar Club and pay an extra fee and have a pass, so you can park and be right here, just right close to the stadium. But if you are handicapped and you have a handicap sticker, then you can actually pull in here. They've got quite a few parking spots for that. So just some tips for parking. You definitely want to come early and get your spot, otherwise you'll be parking quite a ways away from the stadium. Hey guys, we are in Cougar Canyon. They shut down this road during game day and they set up all the booths. You got a lot of food trucks and other vendors here that you can check out. Come here early so you got plenty of time to check out the festivities. Again, all the food trucks are kind of back right there behind me. It's game day, baby. Let's go Cougars. All right, so we got the Baylor fans showing up, ready to cheer their team on. They're going to be tough. They really kicked BYU's tail last year. Hopefully BYU can do better this time around. So they've already got some BYU Store stuff here. So BYU's got a huge store on campus where they sell all kinds of football, shirts, t-shirts, all the gear for the games, and they always have all these booths set up outside for buying your shirts. So if you forget something, you can come get a shirt. Let's see what they got today. Oh yeah, love it. Somebody won something good. Oh, they won a little ducky. Somebody was a lucky duck. Oh, I got a bag. Yeah, right. So, all right guys, so now we're on the north end of Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and you can see we got all the BYU fans known as the Rock, or Roar of the Cougar, waiting to get let into the stadium. We're headed to some more tailgate spots up here. We've got a local lender that I've worked with before that's doing a free tailgate, being catered by Mo Betta's, which is some really fantastic Hawaiian food. So come watch us, enjoy some food. So again, we're on this north end of the Lavelle Edwards Stadium. They've got a little grassy area where they've got some more of these tailgate parties, and then they've got a section set up here for the visiting team to be able to have a tailgate party for their fans. So here's the Mo Betta's. You've got rice, teriyaki chicken, teriyaki steak, the best mac salad you'll ever have, a great teriyaki sauce. That's what it looks like. That's Mo Betta's. Coach Sataki just coming by. Everyone's going nuts for Coach. I actually met him on the golf course this year at Gladstone. He's just a really down-to-earth, nice dude. This is the entertainment. They got some singers here. When the light gets into what they get. Rain keeps falling down. J-Dog is a place a lot of people in Provo love. They love the hot dogs. Every time my brother comes to visit, he heads there specifically to get a J-Dog. You can see the food trucks fill up quick. So if you want food, get here early. Everyone just waiting for the gates to open so they can get in the stadium. All right, just made it through the gates. It's an all online ticketing thing, so you got to have the tickets downloaded to your phone, and you walk in. You can actually go up steps right there up to the second concourse. They have the BYU Stadium set up such as, like, you know, portals A, B, C, D, all the way around to Z, and then the upper decks are like portal AA, portal BB, etc. Anyway, they've got ramps that you can get you to those upper levels. They've got the concession stands here. One of the things that my son likes the best is getting the pork nachos. Comes in a little half-sized plastic football bowl. He loves that. And then probably one of the most, see, there's someone with a pork nacho bowl right there. There's your pork nachos. But the thing that most people really love are the cougar tails. That's what everyone's in line for over here. Basically, they're like a two foot long maple bar. Now, my son and I, we don't really like them. In fact, we don't think they're the greatest thing ever like most people do. So make a comment down below if you think I'm crazy and you think they are fantastic. I'd rather just have a regular glazed donut, but people come here just to get the cougar tails. Again, it's just like a massive, giant maple bar. And then, of course, you got other places to get gear over there. Plenty of other places to get food. We're going to get to our seat because they're about to kick off. All right, here's one of the ramps going up to the upper concourse. Hey, if you find these videos helpful, what it's like living in Provo, Utah, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure that you click on that notification bell so that you can stay current on everything about living in Provo. And feel free to make a comment. Add some of your insights if you've been to BYU game days. What are the things that you like to do? What are some of your best parking spots? Make a comment below and let us know. So one of the things I think a lot of people like about football games is the halftime show. Personally, it's not my favorite part of the game, but it still can be a lot of fun. They usually have quite a bit of entertainment. Of course, they're always going to have the marching band do a couple numbers out on the field, and it is pretty amazing to watch how precise and great they are at it. The last game that we went to, they had some fire dancers twirling their fire knife things, whatever you call that, around the field. That was a lot of fun. The Cougarettes usually come out. They are always, frequently they win the national championship. They're a very accomplished dancing squad. So the Cougarettes always come out and do some dances. Oftentimes they even get Cosmo the Cougar involved with them. He's the mascot for BYU. He's usually running around the stadium getting everybody fired up, doing backflips and all kinds of crazy things to get the crowd animated into it. So anyway, the halftime can be fun with those different activities. Oftentimes they'll bring people in from the crowd that, maybe some of the title sponsors will have some sort of game that they can play to win some money or win tickets or whatever it is. So they keep you pretty entertained. That 20-25 minutes between halftime and, between the second quarter and third quarter goes by super fast. Of course, that's a good time to be able to head down from your seats down to the concourse areas and get some food and drink. They've got all kinds of food. They've got hot dogs, hamburgers. They got the nacho bowls. I think I got some pictures of that somewhere. And then there's some of the other local restaurants around also rent out spaces and sell some of their food, like Costa Vida. There's pizza shops. So there's definitely all kinds of food that you can get, and halftime's the perfect time to do that. So this is probably the biggest and main store here at Cougar at LaVelle Edwards Stadium, but they have smaller stores throughout the stadium selling kind of the same stuff. Be prepared to shell out some money because these shirts and things are not cheap. The game day shirt is, I think it was like $12, but a lot of the other shirts are not that cheap. So inside the stadium they have a big memorabilia t-shirt type store. You can come in here and buy football, little Cosmo Cougars, little miniature helmets, tons of blankets, stuffed animals, lots of shirts and hats, and some cool socks. So I wanted to add something about the seating. It's pretty tight. There are some sections of the stadium where they do have backs on the chairs, and so you've got some support that way. But most of it's just bleacher stadium, so you do not have any support on your back. They do rent stadium chairs when you first walk into the stadium, so you can rent those and take those. You don't have to carry your own, but just know that the spots aren't super big. They feel kind of narrow to me, each space, and there's not a lot of leg room. So for someone like myself, I need to stretch my legs very often. I can't keep them bent very often. I need to get out. So one of the things I do is maybe even during the quarter, like this last game, during the third quarter, I went down to the middle concourse and went to the kind of around to the very edge where they have it open. You can actually stand right there and watch the game. That's a perfect thing for me when my back gets tired or my knees are getting tired being bent. So that's just an option. And they have really large TV screens on each end of the stadium. So you can, if you can't see the ground level very well, or if there's a lot of people that are already there and in your way and you can't see, you can actually look up on those scoreboards and watch the action. In fact, I watched BYU making their third quarter touchdown on a trick play from that spot. It was fantastic. So there's just some tips on seating. Just know you're not going to have a ton of space, and you may want to bring yourself a little cushion pad, or you can rent one of those stadium chairs when you first get in the stadium. All right, so you can't get away with going to a football game without having to deal with the traffic getting out after the game. So you got to know about game day traffic post game. It's busy. It's just crowded because everybody, of course, is heading to their cars. Just know that it's going to take you probably an hour to get out to I-15 from the time you get to your car. And it's going to take you probably, depending on which parking lot you're in, it's going to take you 15-20 minutes to get out of the stadium as you're waiting your turn to get out. And then you got to walk to your car, and then you got to just wait in line to get back out onto the main roads and out to I-15. So it's going to take you a minute. It's just really not much you can do about that unless you don't want to deal with that. Then you can always leave early, or a lot of times I just stay late. I just stay afterwards and just let the crowd kind of thin out, and then it's just a lot more enjoyable just walking the car and being able to drive away. But that's one option. This past game that BYU actually won the game in double overtime. A lot of the people rushed the field, and so getting out wasn't too bad because half the stadium was on the field celebrating with the team while the other half was leaving, so it wasn't too bad. And just to mention that that game against Baylor was fantastic. Two good teams going out. It seemed very evenly matched. I felt really bad for BYU's kicker because he missed two potential game-winning field goals, and he's been clutch his whole career. I can't imagine the pressure he must have been under. But one of the coolest moments that I saw afterwards is you saw the quarterback, Jaron Hall, give him a big hug. You can see that he was consoling him. I thought, what a great show of leadership and sportsmanship, and just helping someone realize what truly is important in life. So that was really cool, and I know that the kicker will have great games hereafter. But anyway, it's always hard when you see someone that's struggling like that. But thankfully, the team pulled out, and the offense was able to score a touchdown, and the defense held on and held Baylor on like a 4th and 12 and won the game. So anyway, it's always fun to go and enjoy a game. I hope you've enjoyed this video on what it's like going and experiencing game day in Provo, Utah. Okay, so I promised you 2 tips that you need to know about attending football, BYU football games on Saturday in Provo. The first tip is they do not allow bags, so they've got a bag policy, and that is you can't have a bag. So just be aware of that. Like if you're planning on hauling a bunch of goods in or things like that, make sure you're not taking them in a bag. I have had them let me bring in like blankets. And maybe some stadium chairs, but they're going to look through your blankets, make sure you don't have any contraband in there. So just make sure you're aware of that. Also, they don't let you bring outside water in. Your water bottle has to be empty, so they'll make you drink it or leave it there at the table before you go in. You can take an empty bottle in and fill your bottles up on the inside of the stadium. So you need to know those things there. And then the other thing is weather. You've got to dress appropriately for the weather. So in this particular video, we were attending a game September 11th, September 10th in Provo. So it was actually pretty warm. In fact, the game was at 8:15. Brought jackets, thought we might need them. We didn't need them at all. We were prepared in case we did, because generally when the sun goes down here in Utah in the fall, it gets pretty darn cold, so you want to be prepared for that. So just make sure that you've got a jacket with you. Now, if you're going to a game in October and November, you're probably going to want coats and even gloves. Sometimes big winter gloves. Some of those games can get really, really cold, but fortunately, the concession stands sell some good hot chocolate to help keep you warm. So anyway, there's a couple tips that you need to know when you attend BYU football games. Again, Scott Walters, I'm so thankful that you're watching this video. And if you're finding these videos helpful about what it's like living in Provo, Utah, and specifically what it's like attending game days in Provo for the BYU football team, then I want you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure that you click on that notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop another video about what it's like living in Provo, Utah. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.